Okay. Is this thing on? Turn my music up, lights down. What's up, YouTube? This is Gamma from Gamma Effects, and I'm here to tell you how American bros build careers abroad, make money, and use our foreign status to earn. Now, if you look at the picture here up on your screen, you see a bunch of brothers on a knee in football pads. Yeah, if you've guessed it, this is a college football team, a Division I college football team at it. And this is one of the, I wouldn't say a prerequisite, but this is one of these are the types of brothers that I'm looking for. Just basic brothers who have athletic background. Now you don't need to be Division I. If you played high school ball, that's probably fine. But a lot of these brothers who play ball in college and, any sport, baseball, American football, anything, badminton, volleyball, a lot of these brothers got degrees. And that is one of the prerequisites to having a university degree. And if you have these sort of attributes, you can probably do pretty well in one of these Asian countries or South American countries, probably European countries, but Asia is definitely a hotspot because a lot of those countries really enjoy athletics and sports. They've got like a real rise over there. So that's why I'm showing you this background. Now, me, Gamma Effects, I'm number 44 here, down on the knee. And, a few of my brothers, let me give them a quick shout out, actually. I got Justin Green, Folly Pomeli, Larry Ned, uh, Jason Van, Freddie Kiahu, my man Mike Franklin, Hold Your Weight, Mike Franklin, Big Mike, and James Trevelyan. These are my brothers. We all play running back. We have fierce competitions. We had a great time. And I believe I'm probably the only one who actually came overseas and used this skill to build a career abroad. Now, what kind of career can you build if you have a background anywhere near this? Well, let's see what I did. A whole lot of years later, and I look a lot different. I'm still wearing a jersey, no pads. I built an American football academy where we taught the youth over there in China, how to play American football. If you look at the sign I'm holding, you can see that I'm using basic words like punt, snap, kick, kickoff, teaching them the terminology, but at the same time, they're learning English. So it's a win-win. That's what the parents really like. They're learning a productive sport where they're learning teamwork, but they're also learning English along the way. So it works out really well in that regard. Now, you might ask, like, well, what school is this that teaches American football? Well, it's not a school. It's a company that I created myself as an American doing business in China. Everything was mine. I put together jerseys. I put together a team. This picture here is just a winter camp while they're in between school. But I rented out the field. You can't see much of our actual sports training facility, but you can kind of get the point where, I'm basically teaching Chinese youth to play American football and how to communicate in English playing American football. So it works out really well. Hey, what's up, JoJo? I will bring you up soon, shortly, and let me explain a little bit, and I'll bring you up, brother. Now, there are so many different ways to make money abroad. If you got the basics, I mean, you do need a bachelor's degree, and that's going to get you in a door with the visa and things of that nature. But once you get in the door, picking a sport could work. You don't have to do everything I did as far as creating your own organization. You can work for a sports company. They got sports companies there. You can work for a school. PE teachers is booming over there, in Asia. I talk, between English and PE. and sports, I was booked up, to the fullest. I couldn't keep myself getting a day off because I was booked up so much. So, the kids are great students. They're very interested, and American sports are fun. I mean, at the end of the day, parents really like the fact that they're getting a global education, outside of their normal country's education. So it was something that was really easy and really surprising. The money was really good. And depending on how you set it up, there are a lot of benefits and accommodations and things of that nature, so that you got your salary that you don't need to touch because everything's pretty much paid for. Transportation is much easier. I don't know if you guys saw another live stream I did maybe 24 hours ago, but we talked about accommodations and things that you don't need to pay for. Look through my videos. You can see those on my main channel. Everyone, please like and subscribe to this video, this live stream. Please give me a like. It means everything. Subscribe. Welcome to the tribe. And, click that notification bell. And so you'll be alerted to all my videos. Follow us on Instagram as well at The Gamma Effect, right there on Instagram. And you'll see everything that we got. Let's keep it moving. So there are a lot of different opportunities that brothers and all kind of foreigners, not just the brothers, but it does help to be American. I'm not gonna lie. They like the fact that we've got a native English speaking pattern. They like our cadence, they like our accent, and they know we have a command over the language, which works out in our favor. Now, this is a different sport. This is baseball. Now, I mean, there's a lot of foreigners over there doing what I'm saying. I was not the only one or a rare specimen. There's other American men and other different types of foreign men who either they marry in that country and bring their skills to that country, or like me, they're single and they just kind of put their feet on the ground, and I wouldn't say roll the dice, but they just got to work and saw what was going to happen. So that's it's not something extremely rare. It's not something where you're taking a huge risk. If you've got the ability to play at a high school level and you understand the sports, even if you watch sports a lot, to where you can communicate it to the youth, then you definitely in the game. If you're a Pop Warner coach or a youth baseball coach or something like that, maybe you have kids and you just coach your son's team or you volunteer, anything like that. It's definitely going to work out for you. It's something where you're definitely qualified, and they're happy to have you. That's the thing I can't stress enough. They are extremely happy to have you. You're something different. You've got a different view. You've got a different perspective. So the thing is, you just got to be able to leverage that perspective for your benefit. That's pretty much what it's coming down to. We're leveraging our perspective for our benefit. And other ways to make money, if you got a degree, if you got any teaching experience, as an actual educator, I talked about this in another video as well. Then there are abundance of opportunities, and I mean, oh man, let's see, let me show you. This right here is when I was a teacher. I was a physical education teacher in a Chinese international school. So it's an international school format, but 99% of the students were Chinese. And, this is one of the last days. As you can see, everyone's Asian, everyone's Chinese. I got my brother here who was from the UK, and he was real cool. I actually got him the job. He's one of my homies from a different job. Then I moved to this school and called him up, and he came through, and he was making more money, and we was doing really good. This school treated me really great. I had a high-end apartment, and I was on the penthouse floor, the very top floor, all by myself. Hardly anyone lived there. They had a state-of-the-art gym, and it was just probably a 10-minute walk to school. It was really nice. It was really good to live like that. And obviously, you see me, the melanated brother. I'm the I was definitely the only melanated person walking around there. But once again, you use that to your strength. You leverage your foreign status, right? So automatically, they take a look at you, and then they hear you speak, and then obviously they look over your qualifications. But it's a no-brainer for them. From them, they're looking at it like, he looks like a duck, he walks like a duck. Yeah, I think it is. This guy's saying he knows sports. He's saying he can teach this and that, and his resume says so. Maybe they call and check on your references. But outside of that, it's a pretty seamless process. I've always wondered why more brothers don't take advantage of it, to be honest with you. It was always something that was readily available for me. So this is definitely something I want to see more brothers taking advantage of. As this economy gets funny style in the U.S., this inflation goes crazy. We got to look at more opportunities like this, and it's only a plane ride away. Accommodations are covered. I mean, apartment, you're not paying for it. Food, you're eating at your athletic facility or at the school that you work in. So you definitely don't need to pay for your meals. If you want to go out and have fun over the weekend, you'll pay for that. But your basic living expenses are comped on top of your salary. So if you want to save $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year, that's definitely no problem. Some people go over there just to pay off student loans that they incur in America because it's the only way that they can pay them off. Some people just want to get ahead and save money. Some people want to invest it. Me personally, I like to invest all of the profits that I make overseas, whether that be crypto or stock market, whatever have you. So that's how I moved ahead. And I just want to bring this message to let brothers know all of the different opportunities that we have when we go overseas. It's quite abundant, to be honest with you. It's quite abundant. Oh, let's see here. Oh, here's my chat. All right. Let me see if I can. Hey, JoJo, let me see if I can get you up in here and get your perspective. Let me, I'll post that into the chat. If you can go ahead and get a hold of that, click that link, and I'll bring you up here with me because I know you've got a lot to talk about as you spend a lot of time in Asia. I think you were born in America, if I remember right, but you spend, most of your childhood in Asia, growing up working, and you've probably seen a lot of the same. Now, while we're waiting on JoJo to see if he can get up in here, let me show you about some things that I did see that were kind of messing up the game funny style. There were times where there will be some foreigners over there kind of faking the funk, to be real with you. Oh, hold on. Let me check with JoJo. JoJo, you in here? This thing on?
How's it going? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I hear you. What's up, man?
How's it going?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. So I was explaining kind of my career path to the people and the things that I did over in China. We're looking at an image of me as I was a PE teacher in an international school. I think this was in Foshan. Let me run through these slides. This was working within my company, Fast Track Sports International. And these are some more students. And, they just enjoyed being around a foreigner speaking. In this picture, this particular group couldn't speak English at all. But they could understand coaching. It's kind of a weird chemistry that you gain because they can understand body movements. And on a sports field, the physical becomes paramount, especially when they can't speak the same language that you can speak. Now, I can speak a bit of Mandarin, so I would, and that would help. But everything couldn't go through Mandarin, but they were still able to be coached and follow directions. So it worked out really well. Let's see here.
Sports definitely bring people together, whether you can speak the language or not.
100%. Yeah, yeah. The chemistry is strong. You're gonna be connected. They need to listen to you to be able to operate well because in the end they get to win or lose, right? We all want to win. So if you can figure out a way to get them to understand so they perform well and they're able to succeed, they're gonna love you no matter what the language is. Was that your experience?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. There was a few like communication barriers for when I was playing overseas, whether that's Philippines or in Taiwan, Thailand. But I mean, sports just itself brought us together.
Now tell me about your background in sports because I think you got an extensive athletic background um, engaging in sports and playing sports overseas that most people don't have.
Right. Yeah. So I played middle school, a little bit of elementary, but also all my middle school and high school years playing three sports: baseball, basketball, and volleyball. And I played that all on travel teams. So I would go to different countries with all three of them and play.
Okay, and what sports did you play?
I played baseball, basketball, and volleyball. And currently now I play baseball in college.
Oh wow! So your sports development developed abroad, and then you brought those skills to America to play on a university level.
Correct.
Now, how that work? Like, would you recommend that, or like was the competition level up to snuff for you to come and ball in America? Like, how'd that work? Because I got all of my skills in America. I just brought my coaching to Asia, but you develop your skills in Asia and then brought them to America. How'd that work?
Right. So it depends on the sport. I'd recommend, especially for basketball. Basketball is huge in China, and that'd be a great place to develop skills. Baseball was a little bit smaller as a sport, so there was a little bit less competition. A little bit same as football. It's still growing over there, so I would say in the near future it would be a great place, but currently as right now it's not the best for competition, but they definitely had the resources for sure, resources to develop, and there was adjacent countries, Taiwan, Japan, that both can play. So I definitely recommend developing in Asia if you just so happen to be there as a child.
Okay, so if you're a father and you were taking on this career path, but you had some sons, maybe you had plans for them athletically, maybe they're 7, 8, 9 years old, something like that. Would you hesitate to bring your family to Asia, you know, knowing that they're going to have to compete in Asia and develop themselves in Asia? Do you think they would still end up with a good athletic product um, from a father's standpoint if you brought your family over to Asia?
They definitely would develop. Um, I feel like it's not all about the place; it's about how much you put in, and you can put in effort anywhere.
Is the competition up to snuff? Well, what you were saying is you don't got to stay in one country. So Asia seems, because in America, America's so big and it's so far away from everything. Most everything's just done in America. But when you're overseas, the proximity to other countries and probably different playing styles makes it a lot easier to go to a different country and ball out against another country.
Right, right, yeah. Taiwan is just right there, and Korea, Japan, all of them.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially baseball, I would assume they can ball in
Yeah,
baseball.
yeah. And basketball, you wouldn't need a problem because pretty big in China.
Right, right. Basketball. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And there's a few NBA players who, after they finish playing in the NBA, they head over to China and kind of play in China in the China League. I've seen.
Right, right.
Actually, you know what? I think you know who's there. What is it? Dwight Howard.
Dwight
Dwight
Howard's in
Howard's
Taiwan.
over
Yeah,
there, and where's he at? I think he's in Taiwan.
correct. He's in Taiwan.
Yeah, and he's like, I think he's a top 75. He's like one of the best NBA players. He ranks up there. I mean, I know he's a multiple time All Star. He was dominant in the league for at least a few years, where he was regarded as like a top 2, top 3 All NBA center.
Right. Yeah. He's there and he's balling it up and making great money.
Right, right. So I mean, yeah, that's live. So I mean, Asia is definitely not falling off as far as athletics. If you want to develop your children there, um, what about education? Would you still be able to get them good education? You pretty much got your youth education in Asia.
Right. I definitely would say it's even more advanced.
Really?
Definitely. Definitely. Especially the school I went to, International School of Dongguan, with the
Mm-hmm.
IB diploma, which is the International Bac Roulette program. I think it's based out of Switzerland. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it is definitely, it's kind of like the AP, the Advanced Placement Test that
Right.
are used in the U.S. system, but it's definitely advanced. I'll tell you that.
And so now you're in college. So how do you feel like when you transition to the university here in the USA? How is your academics comparing or holding up compared to your classmates?
I definitely feel like I'm more in the. I have had no problem. That's all I should say. Especially in the sports realm, you'll definitely see lower grades with
Right.
athletes, but I have not had a problem. I just got my report card. I have 2 A's, 2 B's.
Okay, so yeah, and when I was playing ball, I mean, it was a real push to keep guys eligible, and all we needed was a C. What was it? A C average? Yeah, C average, and it was quite a thing. They spent a lot of resources to keep us eligible. I'm talking tutor sessions. I'm talking like individual tutors and study hall every single day. Like there was a complete budget just for academic services, just for the athletes,
Right,
so that we could keep just a C average. And
right.
that you got to admit that speaks to the education system here in the United States. And from what I understand, China's passed the U.S. as far as the top universities globally. They've got a lot more. I can't remember the exact stat, but it was almost double the amount of top universities globally that the U.S. have. I mean, and that was in competition with all the Ivy Leagues like Harvard and Yale, all of the top schools like Stanford and Berkeley, and China actually outperformed the United States. So I think there is a shift.
That's amazing. I believe it.
Yeah, yeah, it's really interesting. Let's see here. I got shout outs to the chat. Coach Big 2023 says, "How's everybody doing?" Shouts out to you, man. Shoot, there's a link in the chat if you want to come up. If you got something to add, let me know. Let me see here. Let me add it in there one more time. Throw a link in the chat. Boom. And if you want to come on up, man, let me know. Yeah, there you go. And okay, to get back what we were talking about, yeah. So I mean, when I was at San Diego State, there was a big push to keep guys eligible, and it was always kind of a constant thing. And I can't even lie, something that I needed to take advantage of my freshman year to adapt to the university. I can't say the same as you, where I felt like it was no big deal my first year of university. It was definitely an adjustment for me coming from a U.S. high school and going to a U.S. University. Not only, I mean, we are very busy playing sports, but the academic style, and I think there were some writing techniques that I got in high school that university were just tearing that stuff up, marking it all up, and saying, no, this is how we do it here. Like it was like stepping up to the big leagues as far as academics from a writing standpoint. Because I was taught like a simple format in high school, and the thing is, once I performed it the way they wanted, we were praised for it, and it was like a state standard, right? And I think I'm doing a good job. I thought my writing skills were on point, and then I go to university and I'm getting real bad marks when I'm turning in my papers, and I'm thinking, what's going on? Because it used to be a strong suit for me, and now it was like a weakness. So it took me a full year to adjust. I actually had to take a writing course specifically for writing. It wasn't an English course or a literature course. It was like just a writing course to get my writing style up to speed, to a college level. So and that wasn't rare. There was a lot of guys who had to go through that. So that does speak to the U.S. education, because I was actually a pretty good student in high school, and I had good scores on my writing, and that was my experience going to university. So if the education is stronger overseas, I don't know. I can't say that it is for sure. I taught there, but I didn't get the full picture of the academic rigor like you would have actually being a student. Now you're a student in China, right?
Right, I was.
Yeah. Okay. Um, so yeah, I want to ask you a question, because I was talking about career aspects. That a lot of brothers, a lot of foreigners can do over there. What are some of the careers you saw during your time of the adults or the men over there looking to kind of have some type of career while you were there? Did you see any foreigners develop any careers?
A lot of them was English teachers.
Right, just teaching, right?
Right, right. Either that or in the industrialization with the shoe business. I saw a lot of plane development there, metal factory, but a lot of them, most of them are English teachers.
Right. You know what I saw? I saw a brother. Man, this dude looked so aboriginal. It was crazy. He had like long dreads. God, I can't remember his name right now, but he had long dreads, and he rolled up there because his girl, I don't know if it was his wife or fiance, but she was a teacher, and he just kind of rolled with her to see what was up, because he didn't have anything better going on in America, so he was like, well, let me branch out. Oh, what was his name? Billy?
BJ Hughes.
BJ, yeah. He was over there, and he was just trying to see what's up. And then next thing I know, like, he got with some baseball, because he had like some baseball background, and he was coaching, and he ended up, having a pretty good time out there. He was busy and productive working, and he had expected to be there just, with his girl, seeing what was going on, and he ended up getting busy, and he was working multiple days a week, and he was enjoying himself, being productive and being busy out there with his career. You're familiar with him, right?
Right, and he still lives in Taiwan.
Oh, he's in Taiwan?
He's in Taiwan now. Yep.
Oh, what's he doing out there?
Probably similar things. What he's doing in Dongguan.
Okay. So he's probably coaching baseball.
Yep. Probably basketball as well.
Yeah. So he coached a few sports, and he didn't even expect to do it. It's something that he found out about. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to express to these brothers, man. Like, they go out there, and like a lot of brothers can play ball, and they can coach, and in America, that's like a volunteer type skill, or maybe like a small stipend, but definitely nothing that you can live off of, nothing that you can raise a family on. But when you go overseas, those skills translate into like actual career positions where you can get some accommodations paid for. You can make enough money to put some money in the bank, and actually, leverage your foreign status and your athletic skills, and develop it into actually having a career out there. I mean, I was working with the Dragons, which is, organization that worked with, International School of Dongguan. And man, we had like 300 kids out there. We had like advanced level teams, and then we had like beginner level teams, and the Chinese community would come out and be super supportive, and they got into it, man. And then once Chinese people get into something, man, it goes, and it goes hard, and they're like super supportive and super excited, and it was quite a scene, man.
Exactly. Yeah. There is a lot of opportunity for many foreigners.
Here's a picture right here of just being at the school, and this doesn't even capture. I mean, this is just one line of students, but it goes all the way down. You can't even see all the students. But yeah, I was handling the warm ups and the stretches, and then we get into basic techniques, And at the end, after their skills were up to par, we'd get into some hitting and some um, little tournaments, even if it was like just internal inter squad tournaments, just to get the kids accustomed, whether it's t-ball or softball or fast pitch baseball. And yeah, man, I had a blast doing that. And there's a lot of brothers can link into stuff like that. Whether you're in Taiwan or you're in China, the Philippines, they got some Philippines. They got some baseball over there, don't they?
Say it again.
Philippines, they got some baseball over there, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They do.
I know
It's definitely
Thailand
growing.
does well. And yeah. So I mean, it was a blast, man. What I wanted to, I guess, caution my American passport holders, passport bros, is to not get too carried away, because sometimes your foreign status can be all you need to kind of get a quick check, and people can kind of take advantage of that. But all it does is kind of mess up our reputation if they figure it out. It's kind of funny to watch when I seen this video from TikTok, but it's not something we want to get into doing, because it's a short-term gain. Long-term, it just hurts your reputation. Let me go ahead and see if I can pull that up here.
I'm wicked high. And here's the Gronkowski spike. Spikus. Gronkowski. Tebow. Plaxico Burress. South.
Okay, just to pause this. Now, what he's doing is he's an English teacher, teaching English, like JoJo mentioned. And but he's not being honest, or he's not being productive, because he's just using sports terms, talking about Gronkowski and Plexico Burress, which is Gronkowski is an NFL tight end, one of the best tight ends, future Hall of Famer. And then Plexico Burress, who's a pretty decent receiver for the New York Giants and Pittsburgh Steelers. And he ended up shooting himself in a club. It was a whole thing. And he's he's doing a body language and calling out their names, but that's not going to teach children how to speak English. Like, he's actually giving names, right? Like Gronkowski and Plexico Burress. It's actually not teaching them, but they don't know, because like he's a foreigner. He's supposed to be the expert, and they're doing their best to follow him and say the words that he's saying, because they're such a young age. They look like they're only about 4 or 5 years old. So they're just trying to, speak English, and he's just saying anything that he wants because, they probably don't know. He could probably be in a small little town, a little village, and they don't have any other foreigners there. Maybe he married a local, and he's getting away with it. I don't recommend this at all, but it's kind of silly to see it. Let's see. Let's look a little more.
Celtics hat. Say, go Celtics. We love Kevin Garnett. I hate LeBron James. Yankees suck. Derek Jeter sucks. Derek Jeter sucks. Personal high fives going around. Yankees do suck. The Yankees do suck.
Okay, man, that's silliness. It's funny to see, but at the same time, you can see that it's taking advantage of a local community, because their English skills aren't really there. It kind of looks like he's unmonitored. Like, there's not like an English speaking local person there who can say, like, this is nonsense, and he's just running around. Brothers, don't do that, right? Don't take advantage of your foreign status. Actually be productive and give these people a good service, because at the end of the day, you're looking at a career longevity. You might get away with 2 months, 3 months playing that little game, but your reputation will be spoiled, and word travels fast in foreign countries, especially when you're one of the few one of the few foreigners over there teaching nonsense and preaching nonsense. But if you're actually a positive, capable teacher of English or sports, the same thing's going to happen. Your reputation is going to be very positive, and word's going to travel fast, and you're actually going to gain a lot of opportunities, whether that be customers or job offerings or career positions that will work for you. So that's something that we want to be mindful of. But yeah, to build a career, it just takes time and consistency, and the word of mouth travels. It travels fast. They'll want to check you out for a few months, which makes sense. But if you're doing well, and kids are learning, it's a positive environment. Like they will talk about you, and that's the best thing for you. Something I learned. I don't know if you saw it, JoJo, but when I was in China, whenever I went any place, it was pretty much all eyes on me for the most part. Especially if I didn't know them. I was just in a public space, like on a subway or just walking down a busy street or walking through the shopping mall. It was usually all eyes on me. And what I did was leverage that. A lot of people were kind of annoyed by it, but I leveraged it by when I created my company, I would wear company apparel and jerseys. And the jerseys would explain, like in the back, I would put their the company name and the address and just pretty much company information along with the logo in their local language, so they could read it and they could take down information. Sometimes they would try to talk to me, and like I said, I can speak a bit of Mandarin, so I could speak to them, and I would give them a card, and then I would turn myself into like a walking billboard advertisement, and then I was able to gain customers just for being myself, if that makes sense. So that's how I would leverage it and do pretty well that way.
That's very smart. I definitely, probably not as much as you, but I experienced some, curious eyes around, especially walking around the city. But that is definitely a great way. I didn't even think about that to, leverage. Yeah, like you said, leverage your platform and
Yeah.
give what you have to offer.
Yeah. It's a cultural phenomenon that turns out being a platform if you use it as that, right? Like
Right.
a lot of my homies would be complaining about it. And don't get me wrong, my first year there, I was feeling some kind of way about it, because being from America, I would always like try to just blend in or not kind of bring attention to myself, because I'm already a big guy who's like real masculine looking. So you're gonna notice me anyway. But like with my demeanor, I would try to just tuck in the fold so they would relax and not really be worried about me. But in China, you have no chance of that. They see you, and once they see you, it's all eyes on you. They're gonna tell other people to look at you. So it's like you got all these eyeballs. So you might as well use, like you said, it turns into a platform and
Right.
use
Right.
it. Use it. So like, yeah. So I would advertise
Embrace it.
myself.
Yeah, embrace it.
Absolutely embrace it. So I would have my hat on. I would have my sports clothes on. And I always had my logo. And like I said, in their language, I would bear my company information. And I was always trying to hand out some cards or some brochures or something of that, and to get the message out there. And it was working. And I would holler at my homies and kind of like tell them, like, why aren't y'all selling something? Like they're staring at you. Sell something. Like there was some days where I would make a ridiculous amount of money, because China has, like, I don't know, 5 Valentine's Day type holidays where, or they would have these like kids days, or like they would have all these holidays, man. And it was pretty much, they even have one, I can't remember the date or the name of it, but it was kind of like a Black Friday, to where it was just like the day where they're coming to shop. And it was just like, I would be telling my homies, man, like, you got to put out something on this day. Like, the people are programmed, they're primed to shop. And if you got a business, you got something to sell, they're going to buy it on this day. Just give them a discount. And you put it out there like midnight and it'd run through the 24 hours. Man, I would make thousands upon thousands in 24 hours because I was putting it out on that day. So as you gain experience being there and working there and being professional there, you start figuring out these business avenues that work. And if you leverage that times, if you get a community of brothers out there, man, y'all can do some real stuff now. So it's always something I want to encourage, American men to think about. Because right now they're talking about passport bros, traveling, they talk about women, finding traditional women, getting married. Maybe some guys are retired military, but there's a lot of brothers out there who just, they used to play high school ball and they went to school, and this economy is kind of funny right now. So it's like tough. They might be just working at Amazon or doing something. Not that there's anything wrong with working at Amazon, but they might just be doing something like kind of basic where their skills aren't really valued as much. And, they could go overseas, man, and get with a group of brothers, man. And you get 4 to 30 brothers who can play some sports, and you guys get together and kind of leverage your skills and talents. Guys get jobs with schools. Next thing you know, man, there could be an awesome sports company, or everybody could just be having a pretty good community, even if they're teaching, within the same area. There's tons of schools. China's population is massive. The Philippines population is still 100 million, I think. I've been in Thailand working. There's a good community out there, but when I was out there, there was plenty of brothers out there, but I was the only one working locally. All of them were like retired military, or maybe they had some online capacity, which no shade to that, but even more brothers can end up traveling and doing really well and having a nice quality of life if you can plug into the local economy and work in that capacity. I see Coach Big is in the queue. Let me bring you on in here. Coach Winches, Coach Big, you up in here? You there?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
What's going on?
Hey, not too much. What you guys up to?
Man, we talking about getting money and building careers abroad and how you can use your foreign status to earn, like the different advantages that you may not have in America that you would possibly have overseas. Jojo was talking about his education and how he was developed, as well as his athletic ability, how it developed, and then the different scenarios that he saw when he was there over the years of just different men who would come over and figure out a way to get a career going on. Have you seen anything like that?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of different big avenues for things like that. A lot of different people and networking. I heard you guys talking a little while ago kind of about that. Super important in that regard. And I think like probability wise, you're probably more likely to run into other people that are seeking kind of something a little more unique and different. Because normally, I mean, I don't know, it's kind of like law of attraction type of deal,
Mm.
whatever situation you put yourself in, that type of thing.
Mm. Oh, yeah,
Um,
that's an interesting
yeah.
take on it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely it's interesting that you can kind of find different avenues that you maybe wouldn't normally find. Let's say, I don't know, it depends on what your hometown situation looks like. But I definitely would think everybody should at least go see something different than what they're used to at least once. I mean, multiple times if they can in their life. Go check some stuff out and see what you think. It might kind of change your mindset a little bit about uh, how we normally do things.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the law of attraction, I agree with that. I believe in that. And once you kind of change your circumstances, like, man, you never know what life is going to bring, and like how that shakeup is going to create different opportunities for you that you never would have thought possible. I think the basic tenets or the rules is, follow the law. Don't break any laws or don't do anything risky. Be a good, human, have good common sense. Don't get pulled into anything shady, and just kind of mind your P's and Q's. Treat people with respect, and you won't have too much of a problem. There's always going to be some, like, cultural differences and language barriers and things of that nature. But if you're showing people respect, for the most part, globally, they're going to show you respect. These common sense principles apply no matter where you are in the world. So I think you won't really have any major issues. I haven't seen too many major issues. However, I can't lie. I did see, only two, I think two, maybe three foreigners that got in trouble with the law. One got in a fight with a local, which is the number one rule that you can't do, even if you're defending yourself. It's not your fault, or they're pressing you. Um, Beating up a local will definitely get you thrown in jail. Another, I don't think he might have got thrown in jail for like 1 or 2 days, but I think he just got deported for the most part, and he got caught up in a sting. I think it was kind of marijuana related, and he got deported. I don't think he had anything consequential other that he couldn't return to that particular country for a certain amount of years, right? Um, but he was able to go back home and then pick up his life and get a job, and he was fine. It's not like a global record. He was just in trouble with that country. And it was another brother, man. It was in Dongguan. He was a shorter brother. He was from Boise, Idaho. Can't remember his name, but I know he had got caught up. I didn't really know what
easy.
Yeah, you remember the circumstances with that, JoJo?
Yeah, so he was selling marijuana. He
Oh,
just got
okay, a
out. He
marijuana
got out
issue.
about a month ago.
Really?
Yeah, he got out about a month ago. Did 2 years in the pen, and now he's in Thailand.
Oh, well, yeah, it's legal in Thailand.
Right, but there was deportation action as well, and so
Of
he had to.
course.
But he wanted to stay in Asia. His wife's from Dongguan, so he moved
Okay,
to
so
Thailand.
so
Yep.
so he got sentenced to a couple of years based on marijuana. He got deported, and now he's like in a country where marijuana is legal, so he's fine, and he's like doing his thing in Asia.
Right.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's a tough 2 years, but at least he's able to move on, and it's not, like in America, man. Once you get kind of hit up, that follows you, and it's kind of like a life sentence as far as like, it's hard to get any kind of jobs, especially any kind of job that pays well. It's kind of always following you around. So I'm glad he was able to, go to another country, kind of learn his lesson, go where it's legal,
And
and
move
then
on with life.
pick himself up and move on. Absolutely. He's got
Right.
a wife. That's good. And she stuck by his side, I assume.
Yep. They have a kid together as well.
Okay. That's a good happy ending. Yeah, see, I mean, stuff like that in America usually don't have no happy endings, man. Like, it's usually a really, really rough road because the fact that you can't really earn much after you have something like that happen. A lot of guys end up going back to that life of fast money and getting caught up again. So, I mean, that's another positive. Um, but obviously you don't want to be in any sort of a prison system or jail in any other country. I wouldn't know how. I've never been to either one in any country. I've got a clean record, so I wouldn't know how the experience is, in a foreign country's prison versus a U.S. prison or anything like that. But I don't think you want to be in either one of them. I think it'd be kind of an awful scenario in either one of them. But what's forgiving is I see other countries don't have like a long-term punitive damage to you. If you do make a mistake, you're able to recover from it and move on with your life. So, I mean, that's another advantage to being a passport bro. I mean, and obviously it depends on the crime, depends on what you're being convicted of or what you're getting in trouble for. Um, all countries are different. I don't recommend it at all. I say follow the law. Ignorance to the law isn't an excuse. They'll I mean they'll still charge you. So wherever you're going, research research that country. Don't go blind. Find out the laws, at least to where you have like a common sense understanding, and then try and stay within the bounds of the law. Talk to the locals, what to do, what not to do, and but I still think it's worth it because the career aspirations usually are pretty positive. Do you guys have any particular stories or anything like that that you've seen over the years during your time?
You kind of went through the basics of it. I mean, obviously, I think we all seen the Brittany Griner story and
Oh, good
LeAngelo
point.
Ball. But a lot of it's just common sense.
Yeah, Brittany Griner is a rare story because most people don't have her notoriety, and the president of the United States isn't really going to get involved or make any sort of political platform on the fact that you got hemmed up in this foreign country doing something you shouldn't have done. And
LeAngelo Ball.
what's that?
LeAngelo Ball did a similar situation. He's the brother of
Yeah.
Lonzo Ball, LaMelo Ball, and Donald Trump, president at the time, reached out to Xi Jinping to release him. He was
At
accused
UCLA.
Right. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, see, I mean, that's two rare scenarios, right? I mean, basketball related, and they're lucky basketball is such a massive global phenomenon,
Right.
where they're actually able to get it. It's so powerful that it turns political, and they were able to get preferential treatment. But most people, if you get hemmed up overseas, like no one's really gonna find out about it, and only the people who know you, and you're gonna do your time. One country can't do anything about the criminal justice system of another country unless that country wants to help you out. They want to do a deal with you. They might help you out if they want, but even the president of the United States is powerless. If they wanted Brittany Griner to stay there, there's nothing they could have done. I mean, if they just wanted to close the door on it, then that's just what it is. Same with the LaMelo Ball. If they wanted to close the door on that, then they just could have if they wanted to. Luckily, there was political influence and political will to want to help those two individuals out. But for us normal folks, the brothers that I'm talking about, just a passport bro going overseas to see if he can establish a career, don't try it. It's definitely not something that's going to work out for you. So
Right.
Keep your nose clean, stay above board, have common sense, and research the laws for sure. But if you do, I think you can have a promising career. I've seen a lot of brothers do really well in multiple different countries, but I haven't seen a lot of brothers do it, period. Like the brothers that have attempted it or the American men that have attempted it, I've seen a high success rate, but I haven't seen much attempts. So that's the thing. I think brothers need to branch out and see what's out there for us. There's a lot more than just the USA going on for these athletic abilities and these educational abilities to communicate information and just make the youth better at physical things like sports and the culture of it, communicating the culture of it, the whole nine. Once again, everyone, please like and subscribe the video. If you subscribe, welcome to the tribe. Follow us on Instagram at Gamma Effect and hit that notification bell. And so you'll get notified for any video as I bring it up and I start to post it. But I think it's a great conversation. I appreciate you guys for coming on up.
Appreciate the invite.
Oh, no problem, man. Giving us your perspective. You've got a really interesting and rare perspective, both of you. The fact that you've traveled and lived abroad and worked abroad and seen all these scenarios. I think over time we keep getting this message out there. A lot of Western people, whether it's man or woman, will feel encouraged to know that they can leverage themselves, outside of their home country and actually have a really good career. And then that opens them up to, romance life and vacation life and seeing the world and having children and, like you, JoJo, having your kids grow up in a foreign country of a different education system and just kind of becoming more of a global human. And then, if they want to go back to America or they want to go back to their Western country and, go to university or, they can go to university in a foreign country, whatever have you. All this is like really positive. And to have children overseas, maybe they can get citizenship, possibly, depending on the country's laws. And then they can maintain their U.S. citizenship and have a dual citizenship. It opens up a lot of different opportunities for their life instead of being stuck in a small box. So it's something that I think a lot of people can get some use from our message here.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're not getting too much older and not so many responsibilities that maybe you have to think about too much, what do you got to lose to go take a chance and get out there, check it out? Maybe it's for you, maybe not. There's a ton of different places in the world to check out, though. And it's getting easier. It's much easier now with the planes and technology and TripAdvisor and translators and things like that. So it's definitely worth taking a shot. And thanks for having me. I hope we do it soon again.
We'll do, brother. Yeah, I agree. Technology aids the process. At this point, it's getting to the point where it's like no reason why you can't do it if you want to do it. So hopefully this message gets out there. Once again, appreciate my guests from coming up. Shouts out to the chat. All the brothers that's looking out. Anyone that watches the video, please give us a like and a subscribe as we'll keep bringing you more content. We got more coming, hopefully on a daily basis. Once again, this is Gamma Effect. This is Gamma with Gamma Effect, I should say. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.